Welcome to the DDD 83 DVD vault. Try saying that 3 times fast. 2 years ago, I was collecting DVDs. I haven't really stopped, actually. And I would buy a lot of lots off of eBay, meaning you get a bunch of DVDs. Usually it's by genre, and some of them are good, some of them are bad. I have a copy of The Legend of Bagger Vance from one such lot. Another movie, weirdly enough, that has Hindu beliefs in it. Anyway, one lot I received included 2001's KPAX. This was the year of my graduating class, and to be honest, I had never seen KPAX because it looked really corny when it came out. So I put it on in the old Toshiba laptop I used to use to watch my DVD collection on. Now I use a projector I bought from Amazon. I haven't owned a proper television since at least 2010, maybe even earlier than that. KPAX stars Kevin Spacey, and I just watched it after 2 years of initially purchasing the DVD and having a lot of thoughts about symbolism in film. KPAX does not disappoint. I mean, it's not a good movie, so don't watch it thinking that it's going to be. I don't know. Maybe I have different standards than other people. If you've seen the movie and you like it, please let me know. Everyone has different taste, right? And there's no accounting for it. Kevin Spacey plays a man named Prot, who claims to be an alien from the planet KPAX. If you have not seen the movie, turn this off now, or continue with a lot of spoilers if you never intend to watch it. In the film, Prot is being evaluated by a psychiatrist played by Jeff Bridges. Bridges is obsessed with finding out who Prot really is because he is so convincing, and he also wants to take care of the character of Kevin Spacey. He believes that he has dissociative identity disorder. He takes Prot to a bunch of astrophysicists because Prot has been insisting he's from KPAX. He's very specific about it. Jeff Bridges happens to have a relative who knows a bunch of astrophysicists, and they write these questions for him, and then they would like to see Prot afterwards because apparently he's being very accurate with the location, and it's this area of space that's very underexplored that only a few astrophysicists know about. And so Prot shows them where his planet is. KPAX has 9 purple moons and is located near the constellation Lyra, which is basically Orpheus's Lyre, between the stars called Agape and Satori. We have named no such stars to my knowledge, so this could be a hint of something else. Satori and Agape are interesting because they both mean things in different belief systems. So let's start with Agape, which appears in the New Testament according to Britannica. So in Christianity, agape is the fatherly love of God for humans, as well as the human reciprocal love for God. In Scripture, the transcendent agape love is the highest form of love and is contrasted with eros, or erotic love, and philia, or brotherly love. In John 3:16, a verse that is often described as a summary of the gospel message, agape is the word used for the love that moved God to send his only Son for the world's redemption. The term necessarily extends to the love of one's fellow humans, as well as the reciprocal love between God and humans that is made manifest in one's unselfish love of others. Also see charity. So that's according to Britannica. Satori, or if you're going to be really annoying with the Japanese, satori, may be a reference to Japanese, and I think it is. I mean, I don't know what else it would be. In Japanese, satori is a Zen Buddhist term for awakening, or satori. It's been a while since I've lived there. Maybe I'll go back and just be illiterate. Anyway, Agape was also the name of an OTO lodge that Jack Parsons was appointed the head of in 1942. Jack Parsons was also a jet fuel engineer, and like to hang out with Aleister Crowley and L. Ron Hubbard in the desert. KPAX, the planet, when Kevin Spacey describes it, has no families, no one is missed, no one even feels anything. The children are raised collectively. It sounds kind of like death to me. Let me know what you think. Prout says that Earth is a low-grade planet, not yet evolved, quote, future uncertain. Prout seems like a postmodern alien. He wears red-tinted sunglasses. So did Jimmy Savile. He won't need them when he goes back to KPAX, if we go with possession. Could it be that the glasses block the light that Prout travels on? He isn't wearing them when he claims to have traveled in the blink of an eye with the astrophysicists. Later on in the film, Jeff Bridges is trying to find out where Prout, or who he sees as Robert Porter, is from. Right, Robert Porter is the name of the human being that Prout occupies. While on the train, a homeless man asks Jeff Bridges for money. Jeff Bridges is fumbling around in his pocket and drops a stub of a pencil that happens to be Prout's. The homeless man gives it back to him. It reads Salva and 505, the area code for New Mexico. Of course, we have Bridges coming to a revelation about salvation, a clue about Prout's identity. Could the fake star names mean salvation? Awaken to a higher power and love of God? Or is it an inversion? KPAX sounds like a very strange utopia to me, right? No families, no one will miss you if you're gone, no feeling really of any kind. The children are collectively raised. One person's utopia is another person's hell. Doesn't sound like a place I would want to live. Robert Porter is from New Mexico, because of course he is. He's an alien. They locate the Salvation Army in Santa Rosa, where Prout may have stayed, and that scene is crazy. Let me just put it on for you.
Santa Rosa.
Gelf.
I mean, he has this woman making maps and stuff for him in her spare time, and what is she, like a nurse or something? Like, it's totally ridiculous. Very Hollywood. At one point, while under hypnosis, Prout says he came to a boy when the boy was in trouble. He inhabited his body to help him. Some have written that KPAX is about dissociative identity disorder, or DID. Prout is a made-up character in the mind of Robert Porter, and Robert Porter knew about all the planets and stars before Prout inhabited him. Robert Porter's dad was, after all, an amateur astronomer, but also worked at a meatpacking plant. Is Prout all a way for Robert Porter to cope with the heinous murder and rape of his wife and family? Or perhaps Prout really is a light-traveling alien that inhabits the bodies of trauma victims. After the discovery of his murdered family, Robert Porter either wades into a river or falls into it, according to the police officer that Jeff Bridges finds in Santa Rosa. The body was never found, and the officer would rather not know if Prout is Robert Porter either way. Prout disappears once for 3 days while at the psychiatric hospital. When Jeff Bridges asks the patients where he is, they tell him he's gone up north. He reappears sitting in a tree. The patients know that he won't need his sunglasses when he goes back to KPAX, and when Prout leaves Robert Porter's body, the glasses are left behind. He assigns the patients tasks. One patient is told to look for a bluebird, and when he finally finds one, it causes pandemonium. Bluebird was an operation instituted by the CIA and later renamed Artichoke, and later renamed MKUltra. The film is about a man with a shattered mind, and that was indeed the purpose of these projects known as Project Bluebird and later MKUltra. Prout has promised the other patients that one of them can come to KPAX with him, and he starts an essay writing contest to determine who. In the psych ward, the patients are having a party because there's also a timeline, a specific date and time that Prout will leave Robert Porter and go back to KPAX. But Prout says to the rest of the patients during this party that the first one who goes to sleep gets extra points. So at this specific date and time, we see a scene where Prout is standing facing a window. There's light coming from the sun. He's facing into this light, and we see basically what looks like Prote leaving Robert Porter's body. And when this happens, the other patients notice that a patient named Bess is gone. They run to her room where her shoes are under her bed, and her essay on the bed is entitled, I Have No Home. Beneath this title is a picture of a dove, which to me is Christian symbolism, right? The dove of peace, the dove that God sends after the flood. The essay is about a fire that consumed Bess's family and that she is the only survivor. They conclude that Bess has gone to KPAX. So if KPAX represents some place between love of God and awakening, is it death? I'm wondering. Because part of the fun of this is to still not know completely. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know. At the end of the film, there is a voiceover of Kevin Spacey describing eternal return. And this might go over a lot of people's heads if they don't know what the concept of eternal return is. But it's a philosophical concept that states that time repeats itself in an infinite loop. That exactly the same events will continue to occur in exactly the same way over and over again. This was a concept well known in ancient Greece and later picked up again by Nietzsche. And word for word, it is what Prote describes at the very end of the film. I might as well roll that clip.
I want to tell you something, Mark. Something you do not yet know. But we KPAXians have been around long enough to have discovered. The universe will expand, then it will collapse back on itself, then it will expand again. It will repeat this process forever. What you don't know is that when the universe expands again, everything will be as it is now. Whatever mistakes you make this time around, you will live through on your next pass. Every mistake you make, you will live through again and again forever.
Eternal return also always reminds me of the Indian Hindu concept of the yuga cycles, right? The cycles of the universe as it basically, expands and then collapses because there is an end, there's a beginning and an end, and the cycle starts over and over. Right now, we're thought to be in what they call the Kali Yuga, and it tells us, we're living in this time period. And the Kali Yuga is known as the Age of Darkness, when moral virtue and mental capabilities reach their lowest point in the cycle. It's a period when the world's soul is black. Only 1/4 of virtue remains, which slowly dwindles to zero at the end of the Kali Yuga. Men turn to wickedness, disease, lethargy, anger, natural calamities, anguish, and fear of scarcity dominate. Penance, sacrifices, and religious observances fall into disuse. All creatures degenerate, change passes over all things, without exception. Is KPAX a stand-in for another realm, one that we can't see beyond this life? One that inhabitants like Prote can travel from into traumatized people? Perhaps another dimension that we could travel to on a ray of light? While wheeling around a catatonic Kevin Spacey, Jeff Bridges confirms that Bess has disappeared. Did she go to KPAX? Did she escape the psych ward without shoes? I have no idea. Did Prote enter her body and travel elsewhere? And that's the open end of the film. So I hope you've enjoyed this little breakdown from the DVD vault. I'll do this with more of the DVDs that I own because it's fun for me to think about symbolism in film and what, these things could possibly mean. So until next time, I hope everyone's having an awesome time doing whatever they're doing, and please take care.